I was so disconnected with myself that I didn't even know what I wanted anymore. Y'all, get your pussyfootin', lollygagging, fiddle fartin', meek magoo distracted asses in hyperfocus. Now, let's go conquer some goals. Today's world is full of distractions and attention thieves. We waste our lives and days away on things that don't serve our purpose. We spend maybe 4 hours binge watching television, scrolling social media. Very few people in this world are being intentional about their time. How much time do you spend now being intentional about your future? 1 hour per day, 10 minutes per week? Or are you stuck in a whirlwind of tasks that seem to never end? If that sounds like you, and you think you will never get out of the grind, listen. Time will always be fleeting unless you grab it by the reins and direct it where to go. I wasted about a decade of my life in relationships that didn't serve me. The first one was with an opioid addict who eventually turned to heroin. She manipulated me, and she mentally abused me, and she used me to the end of getting what she needed. She didn't care about me, and I spent a lot of time trying to make her care. But her addiction was higher priority. And so that was about 5 years of time that I wasted in that relationship. Did I learn a lesson? Yes, but it still feels wasted. I could have spent my time doing far many greater things than I did in that relationship. The second relationship, I was with somebody who had crab mentality. Anytime I achieved anything special, I was like the crab trying to climb out of the bucket full of crabs, and he would pull me back in. He did not want to see me succeed because he thought that would make him look bad. He wanted everybody who was raising to another level around him to come back down and fall back down to his level because he wasn't willing to put in the time and effort to achieve things. He didn't want me to achieve things either. And so, since I didn't have a great home life to come back to, I took solace in my job. I was a software developer, and I'd go to work, and I was so excited to be there, be around people who felt like family. If people called my name at work, I came running like a superhero in my own movie. I would say, "Harris here, at your service." Eventually, I realized that I was serving everyone's needs, but I wasn't serving my own. I was a hardcore people pleaser. I was so disconnected with myself that I didn't even know what I wanted anymore. My life didn't have a purpose. It was to serve other people and their needs. And I knew that that wasn't going to last long and that I wouldn't be able to continue in that way. And I knew I needed a paradigm shift. And so I started to dive into self-development. I thought that something was wrong with me. This was genetic. This was a genetic dysfunction. Maybe I was born this way. But that's not true. People pleasing and prioritizing others above yourself is not a genetic dysfunction, y'all. It's a learned habit. And You have to be able to break that learned habit in order to overcome that. So after researching and diving into self-help and self-optimization, I learned that I only needed two things to fix this problem, to stop people pleasing so much. I needed a why. Find your why. Simon Sinek is start with why. So find your why. What is your reason for being here? Why are you here? What are you doing with your life? If you don't know what that is, that's what you need to be doing right now. Figuring out what your why is. And then number 2, unapologetically and fiercely dedicate your time and your energy to your purpose so that you can accomplish all the things that you want to accomplish. There's this old Greek parable, or fable rather, that talks about the fox and the hedgehog. And so for you people who have wondered, what the heck is this hedgehog all about? I'm going to tell you. So that Greek parable states, the fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. The fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. The fox is cunning and agile, and he uses many different strategies to catch prey and evade predators. He might scurry and pounce and run through the forest. And maybe he comes across a hedgehog. And he could use many different strategies to catch this hedgehog. But the hedgehog knows one big thing. And that's to curl up into a little ball and stick its quills out that pokes its predators. If we can embody that hedgehog and focus on our one big thing, it doesn't matter what's happening around us. We can focus our energy on what matters most. And for the hedgehog, maybe it's protecting itself. And for us, it could be curing cancer. It could be building communities. It could be art and making people smile with the beautiful things that you create. But if we embody that hedgehog, and when a distraction or a fox comes around to get us, and we curl up and we focus our energy back on our one thing, we can do anything we want. The problem is that you are letting, and I am letting, every distraction take our time. And if it's not taking our time, we're giving it away. So I would implore you to think about what things you are doing right now that aren't serving your purpose. Imagine if you consistently said yes to the things that did and no to the things that don't. How would your life be different? And what would it cost you if you don't? I would recommend a few books and maybe a few tools to help you on this journey. The first would be reading the book by Simon Sinek, Start with Why, to figure out what your why is. Dig down into that reason for your being, your knowing. I recently saw Jamie Kernley speak in Florida at Peak Partnership, and she said, I had this knowing inside of me. And so I'm going to ask you, what do you just know? What is that knowing deep inside of you? And Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, will help you with that. The second book that will be a great tool for you is The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. We read that book for my Charleston Self-Development Book Club, and it was phenomenal. It makes you think about where you want to be in the future and how to reverse engineer that into what you're going to do today to that end. So, what is your life goal? What do you want to accomplish before you die? And then work backwards from there. Ask yourself this one question. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? Ask yourself that question and start at your life goal. Like, what is your why? What is your reason? And then say, what is the one thing I can do today such that by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary to meet my 1 week goal? What's the one thing I can do this week such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary to hit my 1 month goal, and then my 1 year goal, and then my 5 year goal to hit my life's purpose? What is that one thing? That book will help you determine that and break it down into more easy steps, more simple steps, so that you can focus your time and your energy on that thing. I also recently purchased the Big Ass Calendar by Jesse Itzler, and I have all of my sticky notes on it for the dates that I plan to accomplish something, whether it's a podcast or training a new employee or going out of town to network with people at an amazing conference. I don't know what size it is, but it's like takes up the whole damn wall. And it has every single month and every single day on that calendar. So you know for the whole year what you are doing on a daily basis in order to hit your goal. Another tool that might be useful is I have a death calendar on my wall. It shows you how many weeks you have in an average lifetime. And then as you age, you mark off each week. And you can at a glance see how much time have you spent in your life and how much time do you have left remaining. And if that doesn't put a fire under your butt, I don't know what's going to. If you watch the time tick down and know, oh, I only have this many number of weeks left in my life to get what I want to get done, you might start utilizing your time more wisely instead of scrolling and binge watching and giving your time away and people pleasing to others. Biggest takeaways today? Number one, don't people please. Screw those people. Focus your time and energy on yourself. The things that you want to accomplish. How do you want to make impact on the world? Number two, you only need 2 things in order to accomplish that and focus your time and energy where you want it. 1, know your why. And 2, unapologetically dedicate your time to that why. Remember the hedgehog. If some distraction comes around and somebody messages you at work and says, hey, I need you to do this really fast. Is that the highest and best use of your time? Or are you just doing it to people please? Are they a distraction for you? Remember the hedgehog. Curl up and say, that's not my priority right now. I'm going to do this thing instead. embody that hedgehog. Read a couple books to help you. Number 1, Start with Why by Simon Sinek. And number 2, The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. And buy some big-ass calendars. Literally, the big-ass calendar by Jesse Itzler. And maybe even try a death calendar so that you know when you are utilizing your time wisely and when you are not. And you can easily see how much time you got left to accomplish those things you want to accomplish in life. Again, what will it cost you if you don't? Thank you for watching.